Hi there, my name is Andy. Welcome back to Namaste at Home Yoga. And if you haven't met him before, this is my cat Neville, my usual assistant for these yoga sessions. Today's practice is going to be a little bit higher energy. We're going to warm things up a bit more with a Vinyasa practice. So grab your mat. If you're someone who likes to work with blocks or cushions for a little bit of limb extension or a little bit of extra support here and there, have those handy as well. And let's get started. Again, take a seat on your mat, get comfortable, just finding that nice tall spine. Maybe an easy cross-legged position to start. And even though we're going to be moving a little quicker today, warming things up, we'll first take that moment to tune in. Finding that smooth, even breath. Noticing where we're holding a little bit of extra tension in the body. Noticing if there's any areas that we need to take care of today. Or what's feeling really good, or really ready to go. With each breath in, think about filling from bottom to top, letting the belly and chest fill. Each exhale lets the chest fall, lets the belly fall. Each breath full, complete. And if it's comfortable for you today, I'll recommend breathing in and out mostly through the nose, keeping the mouth sealed. If you'd like to add a little bit more heat, a little bit more intensity to the practice, maybe on the exhales, we find that small constriction in the back of the throat. So it almost sounds like you are fogging up a mirror. That helps to start to build, create a little bit more internal heat as we make our way through this practice. Starting just nice and gently here, let's let the right ear come down towards the right shoulder. Rolling chin down to chest. Left ear, left shoulder. Rolling chin back down to chest. Once more each side, right ear, right shoulder. Chin to chest. Or to the left. Back down, chin to chest, softly opening the eyes if they're closed, and finding your way into your tabletop position. Allowing hands to stack under shoulders, knees under hips, as we start to move with that breath a little more. Inhale, drop the belly, head, chest, and hips rise. Exhale, press through hands and knees around the spine. Inhaling, head, chest, hips. Exhaling, we round. Inhale, open up. Find that expansion through the front of the body. And then mirroring that expansion as you exhale, rounding the back. Let's just go through 2 more like that, following your breath today, your pace. As you finish that up, let's tuck the toes, send the hips up and back for our first down dog of the practice. Take a moment to pedal it out, move around however you need to settle into this posture. Allowing fingers to spread wide, hands about shoulder width. Feet mirroring that distance, about hip width apart. Adding as much of a bend to the knees as you need here. And coming a little bit deeper, let's reach the right hand through, grabbing for the outside edge of the left leg. We're going to kind of peer under that left shoulder. Gentle twist, a little bit of a stretch. Replacing that right hand on the mat. Same thing, second side. Left arm reaches through, finding somewhere along that outside edge of the right leg as gaze shifts under the right shoulder. Hand can find its way back to the mat. Let's inhale, shift forward, find your high plank. Holding for a couple of breaths. Core is nice and tight, low ribs contained. Exhale, send it back, downward dog. Inhale, send the right leg high. Step between the hands. Stay high on those back toes. Inhaling to sweep arms up overhead for our crescent lunge. Drawing left hip forward, right hip back. And exhaling to frame. Step it back, down dog. Other side, left leg comes high. Stepping between hands. Pressing through to the left arm, sweeping overhead. Just a couple of breaths strong in this crescent lunge. Exhaling, we frame. Step back, down dog. Inhale forward, back to your plank. And again, holding a couple of breaths. Dropping to the knees if you need. Let's think about spreading the fingers wide, actively pressing the ground away from us. Shoulders draw down away from the ears, crown of the head reaches forward. With our next exhale, lower to the knees, untuck toes, chin and chest, find the mat. Inhale, just a half lift, shoulders draw forward and up, hands hover. Hold for a breath or so. And then go ahead and press that back, finding your down dog. Gonna move through another one of those, moving a little bit more one movement per breath, sorry. Finding that inhale, we shift forward. Exhale, lower knees, chin, chest. Inhale, draws us forward and up. Exhaling, come on back. And that's kind of our modified flow for today. Feel free to stick with that, or I'll run through a quick full flow as well. Please modify however you need and just go with whichever one is suiting you best today. Take that next inhale to shift forward, high plank. Elbows stay tight alongside the body as we exhale to hover. Inhale, drawing forward and up, quads at a hover, chest proud. Exhale, making our way back, downward dog. Let's take one more of those, just moving at your pace, your breath, either a full or modified flow. I'll meet you back in a down dog whenever you are done. Go right on ahead. Follow your pace. And just noticing where you're starting to get a little bit warmer, a little bit more active. And find a step hop or float to the top of your mat. We'll need in a forward fold. Allowing the body to ragdoll forward, head lets go. Maybe giving it a bit of a shake side to side or a nod yes, releasing some of that tension through the back of the neck. Next breath or so starts to draw us up to stand, vertebrae by vertebrae. Head coming up last. And finding Tadasana, our mountain pose, standing strong here at the top of our mats. palms up and up to the front. Chest is proud, crown tall. Firing things up a little bit. Let's inhale, sweeping arms overhead. Exhale, sit back and down into your chair. Powerful pose. Arms can come shoulder width or maybe become a little bit wider if shoulder mobility is limited. Drawing thumbs up and back so that biceps are alongside the ears. Tailbone dropping towards the earth. 2 more. Inhale, we find our way up. Exhale, release those arms down. Find a big breath in, sweep the arms wide. Exhale, hands through center. Inhaling back to that chair, arms high, hips low. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant, step back to a plank. Moving through your flow. And exhale lets us lower. Inhale draws us forward. Exhaling back to our downward dog. Right leg inhales high. Stepping between hands. Left heel finds the mat at a 45-degree angle, pressing up for warrior one. Arms maybe catching hips, floating through center, or resting overhead. Drawing those hips square as we find that lunge through the right knee. And exhaling, we frame, step back, plank, and through your flow. We'll meet back in our down dog once more. And make our way into that second side, sending left leg high. Stepping between hands. Right heel finds the mat, 45-degree angle. Press up to rise, warrior one. Equal pressure between the feet here. Left hip draws back, right hip pressing forward. Feeling those fingertips reach to sky if arms are overhead. Allowing shoulders to relax away from the ears. Beautiful. We'll exhale to frame. Step back. And flow it out. Lower when you're ready. Continue to move with that breath. Whether your pace is a little bit faster or a little slower than mine, no worries, we'll always catch back up at some point. Here, we'll come back together, resting in a downward dog. Noticing that heat build in the body, that activation. Each exhale, maybe starting to draw the chest back towards thighs. And then we'll step hop or float back to the top of the mat, forward fold. Roll it up to stand. Optional back bend here as we sweep the arms overhead. Exhale through center. Second side, hips low, arms high. Here we go. Exhaling, we fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant, step back, find your plank, and flow it out. Left leg inhales to lift. Stepping between hands. Warrior one once more. Right heel finds the mat, pressing through the feet to rise. Inviting a twist here. Right fingertips reach forward, left fingertips reach back. Gaze is opening towards the side wall. Feel the opposing pressure between front and back foot, between opposite fingertips as they reach, between the crown of the head reaching, tailbone pulling towards the earth. Inhale through center. Exhaling, reframe, step back, and move through your flow. Leaning back in our downward dog. We'll move through our second side, right leg lifting. Stepping between hands. Left heel finds the mat, warrior one, we press to rise. Couple of breaths to settle in here first. And then we start to explore that twist. Left fingertips forward, right fingertips back. Gazing over towards the right side wall. Maybe challenging our balance a little bit as we do so. Spread those fingertips wide. Find energy all the way out the hands. Shooting out of the crown of the head. Strong and grounded through your feet. Inhale through center. Exhale, frame, step back. And flow it out. Slow and controlled in that lower. Strength through the back as we lift. And making our way back to that familiar down dog. Allowing the creases of the elbows to face each other. Letting the sit bones reach up and back. Finding some of those smooth, deep breaths if we've lost them. And then once more, step hop or float back to the top of the mat, forward fold. Roll it up to stand. Optional back bend as we fill up, sweeping those arms wide. Exhaling through center. Beautiful. Inhale, we sweep open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant. Go ahead and step it back. Let's go for another flow, shall we? Exhaling, we lower. Inhale, draw forward. Meeting it back in our downward dog. Send the right leg high. As we shift forward, draw that knee towards the nose. Inhaling, we kick back, send it high. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, come on back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow across the body. Inhale, send it back. One more time, let's go knee to chest or knee to nose here. Holding for 3, for 2, and 1. Draping that leg across the top of the mat, setting up for pigeon. You can drop the back knee, untuck the toes as we find a little bit of evenness side to side in the hips. Double checking that back leg is coming out straight back from our hip. Finding as much of a bend to that right knee as you need. Depending on your hip structure, where you have tension here, maybe parallel is going to feel better for you, or maybe more of a bend. Starts to open up through that right hip a little bit more. Allow yourself to settle in the hips, staying as you are, keeping the chest proud, or starting to draw forward, maybe finding bent arms, forearms, or even resting the head all the way down onto the mat or stacked hands. Allowing that breath to flow smooth. To slow things down a little bit. Allowing hips to get heavier with each exhale. And we'll start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders if we're on forearms or resting on our mats. Go ahead and tuck the back toes, stepping it back towards a down dog. And if it feels good here, take a moment just to pedal things out. Refreshing some of that blood flow back into the legs. Let's find our second side. Inhale, left foot comes high. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, shift forward, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, across the body. Inhale, come on back. One more time, knee to chest, knee to nose. For 3. For 2, so strong, keep it up. Last one. And same thing here, draping that leg across the top of the mat, setting up for your second side pigeon. We find that evenness in the hips first, keeping our chest proud to start. And then if we find our forward fold is where we're needing to be today, once we found that evenness side to side, we start to draw ourselves forward and down. By all means, if staying up is just really feeling good for you today, your body's quite happy with that, I encourage you to stick. Or make any other small modifications that you may need to really fit this posture to your body, meeting it where it's at. Find those deep breaths. Breathing space into those tight areas. Exhaling, we release a little bit of tension. Slowly, surely finding a little bit more balance in the body, a little bit more space in the body. Finding another full breath. And then over the next couple here, starting to find your way back up to a tall spine if you're folded. Stepping back into a downward dog. Finding movement if that is what you're craving. And options to stay in this down dog or move through another 2 flows. Again, just following that breath. Inhaling, we find our shift forward. Strong core as we exhale, lower. Inhale, drawing us forward and up. Exhale, send it back. One more just like that. I'll meet you back in our downward dog. Gently here, you can come high on the toes, drop the knees down. Send the legs out in front of you, finding a nice tall seat. Planting hands on either side of the body, and maybe removing any extra fleshy bits so that our sit bones rest really firm into the mat here. Drawing tall through the crown of the head. Find an inhale to get strong with that right leg. Maybe it gets light, maybe it lifts. Awesome work. 2 more. Exhale, let that go. Same thing on our second side. And inhale, get strong with that left leg. It can be light or it can lift. As long as we're finding some good activation, building some strength. Pulling toes back towards you. Two more. Exhaling, lean lower, let that go. Feet can come in a little bit closer, and we're going to move into more of a hip opener, but challenging that tall spine as we do so. And adjust however you need here, maybe just crossing the right ankle over the left leg. Left leg can be bent or extended. Finding a little bit of space here and encouraging that tall spine, crown towards the sky. If we need a little bit more, we start to cradle that leg, maybe on the ankle, or coming with the foot and knee into our elbow creases, almost like you're cradling that whole bottom part of your leg here. And it's easy to wander around as we sink into these, so draw those shoulder blades back, draw that chest forward and proud, crown towards the sky, and really work with the breath. This one isn't quite a resting posture just yet. Inhales, draw length through the crown. Exhales, we let the shoulders melt away. Or exhales, we start to kick gently into the arm, into the elbow. Eventually that foot might start to work its way a little bit higher, but we'll meet the body where it's at today. Find a spot that is challenging in a good way. And exhaling to gently release. Go ahead and switch sides. Same thing on the other leg. You can cross the ankle over top of a bent or a straight leg, or come into that cradle, whatever you need here. Setting up, we find that tall spine if we've lost it. Working hard for that posture. Inhales, we lift. Exhales, we find a bit of depth here, whether that's by drawing the chest more proud or kicking into that opposite elbow gently. Just a couple more here. Beautiful. Releasing that with an exhale. You can send the legs back out in front of you. We'll move through a gentle twist, but this one's going to be very core led. Let's bring the right foot sole to the mat, somewhere alongside the left leg. And you can stay as you are, or if you know you need a little bit more depth in your twists, go ahead and cross that right ankle over top. Maintaining our tall spine, we'll find genie arms, stacking elbows and wrists. Inhale to get tall. Exhale, we start to twist. Let's find one more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhaling, we twist. Coming across that right knee. Staying as we are. Core working. Ensuring that our spine is supported, our trunk is well supported, in a good stable position. And exhaling then come back through center. You can release the arms for a moment. Go ahead and switch legs, left foot sole finding the mat beside the right leg or crossing over top for a little bit more depth. Find those solid sit bones, get tall. I don't remember which arm I had on top last time, but if you need to or if you remember, go ahead and switch it up. Inhale, we grow tall. Exhale, a little bit of a twist. Got one more of those. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Holding tall, holding strong. Can you hear that breath as it's moving through the body? Especially if you are engaging that small restriction in the back of the throat. And our next exhale gently releases us back through center, allowing those arms down, allowing feet to rest, and sending legs out behind you as we find our way to our stomach. Tops of feet can rest on the mat. We'll start by sending arms overhead. You can allow the chin or preferably the forehead to rest on the mat or on a block if that's available. And then with an inhale, opposite arm and leg will lift. So right arm, left leg, keep them fairly straight. Finding a little bit of rise here. Length as we lift, fingertips reach forward, heel reaches back. Exhaling to gently release onto your mat. And setting up for that second side. Left arm, right leg. Inhale, they lift. Activating across the back. Couple more strong breaths. And exhaling lower. Send the arms back alongside the body here. Moving into the upper body first. Let's think about keeping the feet pressing strong into the mat. Hands can come behind the back like you're holding onto a large ball or interlacing fingers, squeezing so palms press together. Find an inhale, lifting head, chest, shoulders, and maybe arms. Finding that activation through the back, that squeeze. Whether hands are interlaced or not, we're aiming to bring palms towards each other. Feet pressing for 3, 2, and 1. Let that go. You can bring one cheek to the mat, allow big toes to touch and heels to fall open to sides. We'll go through one more round, this time letting the legs rise with us. So head, chest, shoulders, arms, and legs all together. Finding that lift. Building strength through the back body. Here we go. Bring chin back towards the center, just realigning the spine. Hands can come to grab behind the glutes or come back to holding onto that ball. Finding an inhale to lift. Thinking about a little bit of a squeeze in, not just with the palms, but also with the legs here. Zip them together. Gazing just to the top of the mat, maybe slightly in front. So strong for 3, 2, and 1. We release. Lower, opposite cheek, opposite ear can find the mat. Feeling that breath as we settle into a bit of rest. You can find your way back through center with the chin. Hands make their way under shoulders, press up through your tabletop. Send the legs out in front of you, just into a seat for another moment or so before we find our way to our backs. Vinyasa classes, we gotta keep things working. Make sure you're still staying warm enough, so we'll keep some of that work going here with just a little bit of core. You can draw the weight back in towards the sit bones. Allow foot soles to get light on the mat. Hands can rest beside you or slightly behind for a bit of balance, or maybe they come up in line with shoulders. I like to bring thumbs towards the sky to encourage my chest to stay open, stay proud. Allowing those feet to hover. Maybe they come parallel with the ground, or finding that V shape, allowing legs to extend fully. Find an inhale to find a bit more length to one leg. Exhale, let it bend back down. Inhale, other side. Exhale, let it down. One more each way, just moving with your breath. And then gently lowering onto the back. You can grab hamstrings for a little bit of a gentle roll. Finding a draw in towards the chest here, a little bit of a squeeze, maybe a rock side to side. Massage out that back. We've been working hard. One more, a little bit of work today. Let's plant those feet into the mat. Hands can rest on either side of the body. Get strong through the core, strong through the glutes. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, think about driving down through the heels, pressing the hips even higher. For 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, lower gently. If bridges like that are newer in your practice, feel free to stick with those. We're going to go through 2 more rounds, so feel free to repeat or continue on with my cues, going for a little bit more single-sided work here. Hands plant on either side of the body once more. This time right heel reaches up towards the sky. Strong in the core, strong in the glutes. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, heels press. Right heel high, left heel into the mat. So strong for 3, 2, and 1. We lower with control. Releasing that right foot back to the mat. And of course you've got to even out on that second side. The left heel finds its way to sky. Get strong, get activated. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Keep that steady, keep it strong. You've got it. It's just a couple of breaths. 2, and 1. Lowering again with control, vertebrae by vertebrae, hips last. And allowing foot sole to come into the mat. Let's bring foot soles to touch. Allow the knees to fall open to the sides. Coming into a little bit more of a restful, nice, easy posture here. Reclined cobblers. Hands can rest at the sides. Find the legs. Bring a hand to the chest and a hand to the belly. Or any other arm variation that feels good for you today. Whatever your body is asking for. We've just gone through and asked a whole lot of the body, so we may as well give back a little bit. Tuning into those deep, slow breaths. Releasing that constriction in the back of the throat if you've still kept it going. And allowing yourselves to return to a more natural rhythm here. Feel free to stay as you are, or if the low back does not love this, we'll reverse it with knees together, feet mat width apart, creating a tent with the legs. Resting in either one of these postures for another 5 or so breaths. Letting go of effort. Letting go of the work. Letting go of any judgments that you might have made for yourself in your practice. Just allowing yourself to be wherever you're at. One of the best things you can do. If knees are still open, hands can come help to close the legs like a book. We'll send legs out long, arms overhead for a nice big full body stretch. And tuck knees in towards the chest. Find a big exhale. Empty those lungs, forehead to knees. Rolling over one side or the other as we find our way back up to that comfortable cross-legged position or comfortable seated position from the start of our practice. Finding that tall spine once more. While the mind is quieter, allow the eyes to rest closed. Let's just bring hands through center, finding a big breath together. Fill up, inhale. Big sigh out the mouth, let it go. Beautiful. Chin can find its way to chest, softly opening the eyes. Finding your way back up to that tall spine. I want to thank you so much for joining me for Vinyasa practice today. I hope it was a little bit of challenge and a little bit of warmth that we got through. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. Namaste.